That concludes our new business. Moving on to item number 8, council reports. Chair will recognize Councilman Howard.
Okay, a little housekeeping. This is aimed at the guys. What's tomorrow? You think I'm kidding? Forget once. I still have the scars. It's Valentine's Day. Don't forget, guys. Ladies, you can thank me later. I don't know if you saw recently the Gwinnett County school system clusters, and particularly the Snellville area schools, Brookwood, Shiloh, and South Gwinnett, were honored for an honor roll for the advanced placement. Now, there's a lot of honors that go along with that, but to have one of those schools within our city, South Gwinnett, and the amazing things that are going on over there. If some of you were here at our very first council meeting that I was a part of, the ROTC group that was here, that's just one of the jewels in their crown over there, if you will. But also Brookwood and Shiloh. And of course, you know, Grayson's close by, they're part of that too. So one of the things that is going to continue to improve is going to be our school systems. And but it's going to take a lot of people to help do that. So continue to support them. One of the things that, and this is the quote from Clay Hunter, which is the principal across the street over there. He says, they're very proud to see the hard work of their students and teachers come to fruition. Our recognition as an AP honor school is a byproduct of our focus on South Gwinnett's theme. College, not if, but when, but where. So bear that in mind. Congratulations to all the schools, and of course especially South Gwinnett. One other thing on the Snellville Citizens Police Academy. How many? I know I see some alumni in here. There's a handful of you in here that's done that. If you hadn't done that, that's a pretty cool deal. If you want to see what our law enforcement really do, it's a little 10-week, once a night kind of deal. They've got a class coming up, the 13th session actually, on March 29th. So you can go to the website for that. I encourage you to do that. The community garden at Snellville, coming along like gangbusters. In fact, I got a pretty copy of a color plat today. Mr. Davis, thank you for all your work in that, and all the group. Who's on that committee that's helping us with the garden? Good job. Thank y'all for that. But if you want to play in the dirt, come on out. It's going to be a lot of fun. I guess the next thing I want to talk about Councilman Sabah's statement. And I want to thank you, Councilman Sabah, for making that statement. That for me was enough. I think we can move on. It's really all I ever wanted, because I think the citizens of this city, and I think the folks in Marietta deserved an apology. I think we've all done things that we probably wished we could take back. As you heard tonight, I think this is one of them. I think he wished he could take you back or do it different. We've all done it. But the main reason that I wanted to make sure, and I want to make this very, very, very clear, is that never again will a sitting member of this council or future councils even hesitate to think about doing something like that ever again, and bring on the scoffs, the laughs, the embarrassment of a situation that somewhat just was unfortunate. Just know that we're going to hold everybody from here on out at a much higher accountability level for that to never happen again. That was my goal, and I think we'll accomplish that. And again, I accept the apology put forth by Councilman Sabah. I wish everyone would consider that, because tonight is the last night we'll hear about that. What we will hear from me in the future is a push to have a very defined ethics ordinance that we can use if this ever, God forbid, happens again. I wish it never had. I wish it never did. All I can do is try to make it where it doesn't. I've often thought, you ever heard the term, you see the dog running after the car? What's he going to do when he catches it? I've often had that thought about my council position here. I'm now a councilman. Now what am I going to do with it? I'm chasing that car. And we still have a lot of good stuff we can do here in this city, but it's going to take everybody doing it. We can't do it alone. So I'm going to encourage everybody to be a part of that, because I'm excited. We got great things we can accomplish. We got some hills to climb. No question. But we're willing to climb them. But we need some folks helping us. Lastly, I want to thank everyone in this room. My colleagues up here, you out there. You are the reason we do this. Simply to do one thing. Make Snellville better. That's it. Whatever we do is going to make Snellville better. Thank you for your support. Guys, don't forget my first comment, please. But everybody drive safe going home.
Thank you, Councilman Howard. Councilman Emanuel.
Well, he did it to me again. I have a few other things to say. Saturday morning, we went to Mayor Pro Tem Witz and I went to a meeting of homeowners at the Abington subdivision. They'd had a couple of 4 burglaries over there, and they were looking for some guidance on things they could do. Snellville officer Neil Carter was there, and investigator Linda Conquo was there. Gave a lot of good information out. I would encourage everybody in a subdivision to get together, do the same kind of thing. We've got what I think is unquestionably the best police department in the state right here in the city of Snellville. And I'd like to thank the chief for making it that way and keeping it that way. Part of what makes the department so great is their response to everything is call us. Don't worry about it. Don't give it a second thought. If you think there's something that needs to be investigated, if you have any concerns, call us. Don't ever think it's an imposition. That's what we're here for. But in addition to calling them, you also need to have some eyes and ears out so that when you do call them, you can give them some information. And Tricia Rollins in Harbor Oaks started a group that's got a page on Facebook. And I don't ever want to go into Harbor Oaks after dark because I know they're going to call the police. But they keep an eye out, and they keep an eye out for each other. And that's the kind of thing you need to do, because the police can only be so many places at one time. And if you get together with your neighbors and form a group like that, get some information from the police department, and they're willing to come out at any time and speak with you, burglarize your house, burglar-proof your house, and burglarize it. Whatever.
I was wondering if y'all caught that.
And there's just a lot of good information there. You get one-to-one with the police officers, so if you do have to call them, they come out, they know who you are, and that makes things a little bit easier. But there's a lot that you can do, and the police officers always say, we need you to be our eyes and ears. And if everybody works together, Snellville will have even less crime than it does now. I'd like to also extend my congratulations to Clay Hunter, South Gwinnett, and the rest of the schools in the area for their commendation. Give Hunger the Boot had a session with Stevie B's Pizza, and they raised quite a bit of food, gave it to the Southeast Gwinnett Co-op. We'll have something new for next month. I'm not sure. I've got a couple of different businesses working, and we'll also have some new programs coming out. Last item, excuse me, Mr. Saba's appearance before the Marietta Council was unfortunate, did create a few image problems for Snellville and some discord on the city council. With his apology tonight, hopefully all that's behind us. And as Councilman Howard said from the beginning, he had one purpose in proposing an investigation, that was to ensure that something like this never happens again. And while Mr. Sabah's apology has closed the chapter of the city's history, it doesn't address the future. So I'm proposing that members of the council get together and create some guidelines to assist in avoiding situations in which personal actions have unintended consequences, and that those consequences create some problems for the city. I don't think we need to make a major production out of it. I don't think we need to pass an ordinance. I just think we need a document that provides some guidance to current and future council members. I think Mr. Sabah went there with good intentions and something went awry, and I think if we all had a piece of paper that maybe just slow us down and take a second thought before we do something, it would be in everybody's best interest. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Kraus.
Good evening. On January 27th, I attended the 3rd Annual Gwinnett Redevelopment Forum, and I came away with this understanding. The real estate demand in Metro Atlanta and Gwinnett County in the coming decades is for compact, walkable, urban developments. Our master plan for the town center at Snellville reflects many of the developments highlighted during this forum. We need to remain at the forefront of this trend with our city and continue working on the potential for redevelopment. I'd also like to update you on our emergency management systems. I hope by now you have researched Nixle and you are participating. I am in the process of researching the sirens. Gay Johnson, our Public Works Director, and Craig Barton, manager, and myself met with the City of Duluth to discuss their siren system. I have also met with the Assistant City Manager in Decatur, along with their fire chief, police lieutenant, and their city analyst on their siren system. They are extremely helpful in not only discussing their siren system, but the good and the bad aspects of having an audible outside siren system. I definitely have more research to do in the siren area. My next system research will be on Code Red. I as well would like to thank Councilman Sabah for your formal letter of apology this evening and for our conversation, our telephone conversation this afternoon. I would also like to congratulate our new chair, Todd Warner, and the vice chair, Jerry Oberholzer, for serving on the URA board, and I look forward to lots of good things coming from that board. Thank you very much to both of you. I'm also looking forward to the newly elected official conference in Athens. We leave on Thursday evening, and we will come back on Saturday well educated. Hopefully, we will come back. I would also like to make a comment on a newspaper article. It was on the SDS. I don't know if anybody got a chance to read it. It was very informative. I tried to copy it off, but cutting and pasting this was just not working for me tonight. And I will leave all the further comments to the mayor. I'm sure she's going to discuss or talk about this evening. But I just wanted to advise you that this answered a lot of questions in detail. And if you can go back, if I didn't cut the date off of it, I did. It was last week. You might want to get a copy of that again or reread it, or I'll be happy to leave this somewhere where you can look at it. Thank you, and have a safe drive home, and happy Valentine's Day.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Witz.
Last week, we've got the news about our city manager leaving us, and I had a meeting with our mayor concerning that. We came to an agreement that we would have a meeting, discuss the options available to us, and that in the interim, we would keep our thoughts to ourselves and not approach people and just go to the meeting and try and hash it out. And I'll be honest, I really had high hopes that we could do that. I set out speaking to organizations like the Gwinnett Municipal Association and others in an effort to bring some alternatives to the meeting to be discussed. On Wednesday, I read that the mayor had made a choice for the interim. I didn't put much weight in that statement because I had an agreement with the mayor that she specifically told me she would not talk to anyone until after our meeting. We scheduled our meeting for Thursday evening. The mayor came into that meeting and told us that we had only one option. She was nominating someone for that position.
Mayor Pro Tem Witz.
When several
Mayor
members
Pro
of
Tem
the
Witz.
council
Mayor Pro Tem Witz,
asked
please.
questions.
Please, Mayor Pro Tem Witz, I'll let
She
you
did
continue
not-
in just a minute. However, I have to refer you to section 2-52 of the city charter decorum. All council members must conduct themselves in a professional, respectful manner. Personal remarks against a council member are inappropriate. So however, I'd have to caution you that you need to follow the decorum statute as far as your comments, and also what you are talking about was an executive session meeting that we had. So anything discussed in the executive session meeting is protected and is closed. If you discuss that out in the public, you could possibly face a violation of the Georgia Code.
Thank you. When I reminded the mayor that she had made an agreement not to talk to anyone and that she had, she very matter-of-factly told me that she did it, beat me up for it. So what? When we recessed, while trying to explain my position to Councilman Sabah, the mayor interrupted my conversation and then verbally assaulted me in the lobby and down a hallway. My guess is that I should not have challenged her for breaking her word, but that is just a guess. Besides going back on her word, it was known to the mayor that why we had a problem with her position. This is the second instance in less than a month, where rather than building consensus, the mayor's come out of her corner swinging recklessly, not really caring where her verbal blows land. We were to have a retreat. I was blamed by the mayor in print for not wanting a particular facilitator that she never even discussed with me. The retreat was never brought up again. At my urging, the city manager has arranged a retreat where only he will know who the facilitator is. The only way to find out who it is to show up. Now we're in another predicament because a battle line was drawn rather than any attempt at consensus. You see, when you base everything on politics, it's not about what's right or wrong for the city, it's whether you win or lose. I'm not about politics, of what's right for about Snellville. It takes consensus to lead any organization. And the best leaders are the ones who work with all the members of a body to ensure the success of the organization as a whole. Since the events of Thursday night, I have worked to build consensus on this council. I was instrumental in getting Councilman Sabah and Councilman Howard to sit and discuss their differences, as you have seen tonight, that discussion brought an amiable agreement that satisfied both parties. I have also discussed other council members' feelings about our transition to a new city manager and found that we agreed that Mr. Treadway should remain the city manager until his notice is up and move forward with engaging a consultant dedicated to hiring a replacement. With only this responsibility, I'm confident a consultant can find quality candidates in a shortened time frame. Therefore, the expense of an interim manager wouldn't be necessary. I'm asking that Mr. Treadway instruct staff to send appropriate notifications that the City Council will have a specially called meeting on Wednesday evening to discuss consultant contracts, and that a consultant will be chosen by the council to move that process forward. The clock is ticking. We have wasted a week, and time is of the essence. It is time for someone to take the bull by the horns and get this city moving in the right direction. and revitalize the sense of pride and community that our citizens so warmly embraced for the past 2 years. I will no longer participate in the current downward spiral that includes a lack of decorum, a lack of respect, and in several cases, attempts to deny the civil rights of our citizens and members of this council. I very proudly served this country in Vietnam. I fought for my right to sit on this dais and speak my mind, and for you to speak your mind at that podium. I'm going to step down from that. I think it's been violated, and it's time for us to correct it. And now we have a parliamentarian and council to council so that we can make sure this city runs the way a city should run. Thank you.
Tim Witz, Councilman Sabah.
I took my notes and I turned them upside down. I'm not going to read them. I'm just going to say a couple of things, one of which is Happy Valentine to every young lady here and the ones that can hear my voice. I think it's a pretty good time. By the way, my truck is open and my 24 red roses are in the front seat already for Mrs. Sabag. Probably not right now. Gone. But I have already been proactive and I got that done, Councilman Howard, so I think I ahead of the curve on this one. I just wanted to say a couple of things. I am hopeful that the council will get together and have a complete working relationship, that we won't have to go through some of that stress. I call it stress because that's how I feel. I don't know about you, I don't know about the rest of the council, but that's what I feel. I share it with Tom, Mayor Pro Tem Witz, that sometimes the stress has contributed to a lot of difficulties, one of which is weight loss, and I hope that would not happen to anyone. And I just want to ask you guys to do one thing for me, is to put me on your prayer list. That's it. Have a great, by the way, I see a lot of new faces here, and I really thank you so much for joining us. And this will get better, trust me.
Thank you, Councilman Sabah. Now for the mayor's comments.